review. Bit chilly. From Mikkeller, brand new in at Sainsburys. Don't think Mikkeller have actually been in at Sainsburys before. I know there's a Brewdog and Mikkeller collab, but yeah, pretty sure that Mikkeller's not been in at Sainsburys before. They did do quite a few at Marks and Spencer's at one stage. So there you can see the Mikkeller there. This is called Side Eyes, a pale ale. Good artwork on the can. Doesn't really say anything. ABV is 4 point. Oh, my eyes. Is that 4.5? Good evening again. No. I think the glass needs a wipe. The magnifying glass. 4.6% doesn't say anything. You know, it's not really giving the game away. It's a bit of a weird looking can. They do have, Mikkeller do some weird looking beers and cans with some strange names. So yeah, new in at Sainsburys. Gypsy Brewer. Nice looking, Paul. Good afternoon. Well, evening. Or good morning to you. 8 hours behind. Yeah, morning. I'm to look at the clock there and work back 8 hours, 11 o'clock in the morning, if you're in California. So yeah, lovely looking golden pour. A good carbonation there. Big head as usual. Yeah, I never was a good pourer. Never. So I'll put the Mikkeller at the front. There we go. Mikkeller. Just there. Yeah. So not a bad looking pour. 4.6% pale ale on the nose. Nice hoppy nose. Tropical vibes coming from this. You enjoyed this? Ah. Yeah, I can remember when Marks and Spencer's had a load of Mikkeller beers in about 2 years ago or so, and they had a good range up there. It cost me a fortune as well. £2.50 per can. And none of them were on offer as well, which really needed me. No Christmas. Did you think it was a Christmas beer? Good evening, Craig. There you go. Side eyes. There you go. It's very hard to get the can out. Pour the rest in. Quite nice tasting. From initial thoughts, it's quite decent tasting. Also, they've got their own brewery then. They brew in other people's breweries. Ah. I wondered about the gypsy thing. I wondered about what you was getting at. Rightio. I'm still learning. But then again, aren't we all? So yeah, nice looking beer. Didn't really rate the Brewdog versus Mikkeller combo, collab rather. I found it to be bland and boring, but that's just me, you know, my opinion. Other people will have their own opinions, and that's the good thing about beer reviews, because everyone has got their own opinion, thankfully. Yeah, Charlie's outside. He just keeps walking up to the shed and going back again. He keeps walking up, looking in, and they'll say, "Dad, are you coming or what?" And then he'll walk down again in about 3 or 4 minutes and do the same. Good evening, Jackman. How are you? The funny thing is, after the crash, yesterday she felt nothing. And then today, neck's hurting a bit. Dog's back. And tappy feet. And so I said to her, you want to get hold of the doctors. So anyway, the insurance people phoned her up tonight just to ask some questions. And they asked about the how she was feeling. And she told them about her neck. So basically now the solicitors are involved. They do it strange. They've got like a no-win, no-fee job. Yeah. And so she's looks like they're going to claim on her behalf. Which, to be fair, you know, as long as we get the car sorted out and back, no cost to us, and we get a bit of extra cash for a holiday, job's good, isn't it? Yeah. And he did run into the back of her. I mean, I've seen the damage to the bumper. It's not bad really, but it's a bloody BMW, so it's never going to be cheap to sort out. So that could be interesting. Yeah, somebody went into the new car, the wife's new car. Gutted. So I've not had an accident in 20 years of driving. I had an accident a month ago, got a new car. Wife's driving the new car, someone's gone into the back of her. And she's had nothing. In the 6 years she's been driving, she's had no. Yes, I know. It's usually the case with insurance. Bus pass might do, mate. Yeah, she's okay. She's got a bit of a stiff neck today, mind you. I posted on my Facebook page. No, it's not damage behind the bumper. So a mechanic who picked the car up, that's where he looked. Apparently, I don't know this, there's a crash bar and then you've got your chassis. It hasn't even dinted the crash bar. So in some ways, the crash bar did its thing. Whatever the hell a crash bar is. So it's not done any damage to the frame, which would have been very, you know, bad for. Would have had to go and get another new car, which is fucking ridiculous. Well, if they write it off for the bumper, then my brother's already advised me to actually get them to give us a price. We buy the BMW back, and then we go and get the bloody bumper fixed. Still suffering now. Wow. A crumple crash bar. Yes, I don't even think it's done the crash bar. Or the crash bar's crumpled, but it's not hit the body. I don't understand how it works. But yeah. So the body's fine, which is the main thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that it's not going to be wrote off because it's a nice car. And then you've got the risk of going out for another car. And obviously we can't afford new cars, so you know, you get what you can afford. And I hope it's better than the Tesco's Cloud Waters. They were a bit, what's the word? Not good. Yeah, I didn't need that call yesterday morning. So I'm at work and then the phone rings and I'm like, what? And the daughter's there, says, Mum, somebody's ran into Mum. I'm like, fucking hell. Let's hope not. Shouldn't be. Jesus Christ, for a bumper. I'd stick some bleeding tape over it and carry on driving it, I would. I mean, I've looked at the pictures of the bumper. It don't look that bad. I've drove around in council wagons with bumpers hanging off. So it don't bother me. It would bother the wife, but it don't bother me. I know, I can't believe it. Neither of us had an accident. You know, I've never had an accident in my own work in my own car, whatever car I've drove. Never. Wife's never had an accident, and then getting pranged, both of us, in the space of a month. Ridiculous. Yeah, obviously some shit drivers on the road. My wife's one, that was definitely not her fault. My prang may have been my fault. I think it was 50-50. But we're not even allowed to put it on social media, Facebook. So, should I be saying about it on YouTube? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. That sounds a good project. Redoing a bungalow. That does sound interesting. I mean, if you gut it and then like put a new fitted kitchen in and all that. Fitted kitchens aren't hard to install. It's when you go into the corners, then you need a joiner and the architrave and the pelmets and that. Taking out stupid walls and doorways, you know, that don't need to be there. In the old days, they had some silly ideas. Good evening. Oh, you're on your train. Wow. Homes under the pint glass. So the last two beers of the night I'm really looking forward to. A local brewery with fantastic brewing capabilities, and then the Beak Brewery Imperial Stout. Really looking forward to that. This is a nice enough beer. It's going down well. Not too heavy on the ABV, and sometimes it's nice to have a lower ABV night. Says he was going on a 10% at the end. But yeah, it's nice just to keep it low. I've actually found just recently that I'm drinking less and less. I'm not rushing home from work and then thinking to myself, right, I need a pint. I'm not even bothered. It's like tonight. The first drink I had tonight was when I did my homebrew update review. And I just had a small glass. And I think it's probably a good thing for me. Yeah. It's a lot less than what I used to have on a school night. Yeah. This time last year, I was coming home and necking probably a litre of whiskey on a school night. Yeah. And then some. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm finally getting out of there. Yeah, it didn't help when I got to work this morning and fucking mice or birds have been at me, all my plants, eating plants and chucking plants around, but little things. And I'm excited for what's coming. I've got all this homebrew that's bubbling away at the side of me. I've got the pinter that's coming. Can't wait to try that. Right, new little toy. And then still doing all the beer reviews as well. So splitting it up quite nicely. Doing beer reviews, wines and whatnot. And then also doing this. Doing the tap room thing on a Tuesday and Friday. A litre, yeah. I think I even drank more. I had a shed load. I'd like to age it. I'm going to do a review pretty much straight away, but it is now May. For the majority, I actually want it to go all the way to October. Do a homemade wine with turbo yeast 48. Bloody hell, that should really get rid of the sugars. Sometimes you're better off using a high ABV yeast to brew out, to boil, to get rid of them sugars. I do think the mild behind me, I'm going to have to go and get a sachet of yeast just to finish off the last sugars. I'll try to. Yeah, I'll try to. I don't know if it will last that long. I do want to do the Imperial Russian Stout again. and super wine yeast, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, this Imperial Mild I've got behind me, 30% in 5 days. Wow. I mean, I know you can use champagne yeast in beers, you know, to get the ABV up. Good evening, mate. How are you? Yeah, I'm thinking that the next month, doing the Imperial Russian Stout, but getting some butterscotch flavouring, the same butterscotch flavouring that Lincoln Green Brewery in Nottingham use, to make a butterscotch Imperial, or do a rum and raisin Imperial using a litre of rum, boil the raisins up, mash them down, and put the rum and the raisins for a week or so together, so that the rum works into the raisins. Then adding that to the Imperial Russian Stout after first fermentation, and then letting it have a week, and then bottling it up. Yeah, the raisins. Yeah, yeah. I like to play around with stuff. You know, the kit. Buy the kit, because I'm no proper brewer. I like home brewing. I haven't got all the, you know, I'm not a grain brewer. I just brew kits. But playing around with the kits is ever so interesting. There's so much you can do. One to increase ABV, one to change flavour. I mean, there's a company in the UK called Bulldog Brews, and they do a lovely, it's called Easter Brew, and it's a chocolate stout. It's an immense chocolate stout. And comes around about 5 to 5.5%, I think. Now I'm thinking of brewing it short, or adding extra sugar and putting some more yeast in if need be, just to make sure it. There's a lesson I've learnt. Have some standby yeast, just in case the yeast can't handle the brewing. And doing like an Imperial chocolate stout. And, you know, just by raising the ABV up again. I just like strong beers. That's the piss head in me. So, back to this beer. Need to kill this off to get back to the third review. Let us know how it goes off with the yeast. The thing is with rhubarb, it doesn't always get rid of all the sugar. Yeah, I might use a bit of extract as well, yeah. Or spray malt, or whatever they call it. So yeah, hoppy on the nose. It's a tropical tasting beer. Smooth, easy going, very easy drinking. Not getting a lot of flavour out of it. Like I said, it was tropical, but flavour, picking out actual elements, not very easy at all. That being said, no. Although I do like a nice Malbec with a ribeye steak and Stilton, or a nice white wine with chicken, obviously. Pork scratchings. Ooh. So, Mikkeller's Side Eyes Pale Ale, 4.6%. Yeah, good ABV. Enjoyed the ABV. It's enough aroma, good taste. I wouldn't say it was it's not a box ticking beer, that's for sure. But it's a nice, easy drink. I can't believe Blue Nose is still going, hour and a half. A nice, easy drinking beer. It's getting there. Yeah, it's starting to get there. It's been a lot of hard work, but yeah, it's certainly getting there. Does sound good, doesn't it? Getting the right beer for the food. Yeah. Out of 5 for me, what about a 4.1 out of 5? I enjoyed it, but yeah, certainly not a box ticker. but enjoyable nonetheless. Right, that's it for this beer review. Need to come back with the third beer review, a local brew this time, from a company that I hold in high esteem. Back in 2 minutes, so, and thank you everyone for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Cheers everyone. Oh, I'm using the bloody mouse